Hi gamers, I'm the owner of the GPD WinMax. My name is Buster2178 and I came to realization of things I've been seeing on the internet that are based on video games for graphics, detailed resolution, 1080p, 1440p, 2K, 4K, details, resolutions. I'm just going to put things straight the way that I feel. I know that other people has their own opinions and their own requirements and their own details. The thing that I want to place in is I like the good old days when you had the PlayStation 2 or the PlayStation 1 or the Game Boy or the regular Nintendo DS or the PSP. You were just waiting for that good game, that game that was fun to play. Need for Speed or um what is it, Pokemon or God of War. When the game came out, you just wanted how the adventure would be, how the the game is, the storyline, how well will the story be, the adventures that games would put you through, and the graphics. There was no one talking about like, oh, can this run at 480p? Can this run at 4K, 720p, 1080p? That is all relevant to me. If the game runs good, it could be at 720p. I'm a minimalist. 720p is still good, even compared to 1080p, medium graphics, even low graphics, medium, low, high. As long as it's reasonable, I accept it. It's good resolution. Now these days, people are always wondering, oh hey, let's top it out, let's make max it out. I want the high validity, RTX, ray tracing, I want details, I want high end, I want some details in the water, I want details in the glass. Are you really just gonna sit there through your whole gameplay when you're trying to figure out the story of a game that the game gives you detailed and things that can make you like imaginate that you're there, that you're in the game, like Stella Glow on 3DS or Pokemon on any of the Nintendo platforms. That's what I like about Nintendo. They keep their system simplistic. All it is about how you love the game, how the game performs. Does it do well? They never try to go over the top, try to be the best, try to be like, hey, ours is the highest end, ours has got the best graphics or anything. No, they go for minimal, what the system can do, and as long as the games make you feel like you're having fun, like you were entertained. With Cyberpunk, I'm going to tell you the truth. I posted it because I know people want to see how it runs and how well it does. To me, it does not have a good story. I do like Cyberpunk games, but the story in it is lackluster. There's too much bugs. When the company brung it out and tried to make it for high-end games, when they already required it will come in for modern day systems too, now it's all set up for these high-performance systems. It is over the top. It is too much. I meant like I loved it when people were able to make games and they made it specifically detailed, worked, and it worked as it's supposed to for the systems or port systems too. Like Doom, they ported it over from PC or the consoles over to the Nintendo Switch. Runs great. I have no problems with it. Yeah, there might be resolution drops or frames per second drops. I'm okay with it. The gameplay is great. Still looks good, but it looks like it got what it needs if it doesn't have good gameplay. And Doom has great gameplay, great story, and I love it to death. I mostly play it in multiplayer form. The thing that I'm getting at is you shouldn't worry about graphics all the time. What you should worry about is this content or this game or this movie or this anything that's going to entertain you have something that'll make you fantasize. You're in it. You're consumed by it. It makes you want to come back to it, and it has things that make it go pop, and you go, yes, I like it. and I'm going to stick with it, and it is great. That is what is Diablo is doing with me. Diablo 3, great game. I play it on my Switch and my PC a lot. It has everything going for it. Good story, good gameplay, and the mechanics in it is just like they get you with like, oh hey, we got some sets here. I love the grinding of the sets, trying to get me some good armor, some good details. I like the Need for Speed games because I love racing games. I just love that they finally brought out a Need for Speed game for the Switch, and it runs at 30 frames per second, but I'm okay with it. 720p, and it still looks good. It's just that it's so fun to play. The racing game is great. It's got a story to it, which is cool. You can be either the police or you can be the criminal that's trying to dodge the cops and stuff like that. Be the racer. You can be either the cops, you can be the racers. I meant like, it's just the things I'm trying to bring up is don't push developers to try to make it over the top. Keep it minimal as long as the system can take it for all systems and all platforms, consoles, PC alike. I aim for like the master race of PC or master race of console. I'm for all systems. And I'm not going to be doing that bid war of what is the better system, what is the better console. I am for all systems, all consoles. It's just that I think developers and consoles and systems should try to just make good stories, make good platformers that will make a person go, I love it, I like the story of it, I want more of it, please bring it back. Ys is doing that. Ys got good story and it's coming back. Mortal Kombat, it's good. It's getting there. They brought it to the Switch. I wish they would make it perform a little bit better for the low end systems so that they can like not be so high up in terror and like needing all that graphics, all that fidelity. People need to quit saying, hey, I need 2K. Hey, I need 4K. It's not going to make a big difference because your eyes can only perceive at a certain resolution or fidelity. You should be accepting, like, even at 720p. 1080p is still good enough for me. 720p and 1080p, I accept it. And the games, if you put them at higher resolution, slow down more and eat up more resources of your computer. If you want good high frames per second and you're always worried about your frames per second, lower the resolution down to 1080p, 720p, and enjoy. Have fun. I really love my little GPD that's like over here on the side. I love this little thing. Dock it to the system. And its only native resolution is 720p, or actually 800p, which is a little 8-inch screen. I love it. And I really like the libraries on the old school systems, and I still go back to my old school console I have sitting in front of me on my 42-inch screen, which is just a 1080p. But I really don't care about resolution. I wish that they would remake, rebuild, and bring back the classic systems again. I think they would have a big hit. I want PlayStation 1 to come back. I want the PSP to come back. I want the N-Gage to come back. I want Neo Geo to come back. I want the Neo Geo Pocket to come back. I want all the old school systems to come back. And with cartridges, CDs, everything to go back in full force at retail stores and stuff like that. Like, let kids know games were great. Of course, PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1 was top tier, best systems ever built of all times. Now, developers and creators and programmers, because these systems are more high end, more powerful, they now have to have more coders, more programmers, and more creators hired to make the game. Almost like 100 people just to make a single game. And that takes 3, 4 years? Why? And like I heard about Cyberpunk, that was like 7 years. Why? I remember on the PlayStation 2, it would only have like 10, 20 people at best just to make a game. And the game would take only about a year or even less than that, 6 months. Make a game, comes out, to me, good enough, plays great, good story. Guitar Hero is one of them. Guitar Hero. The Guitar Hero series, great. I love it. Gameplay was fun. The Need for Speed series, Underground, Most Wanted, Carbon, Pro Street. Those were great games too. The adventure games, the hack and slashes like God of War and Gungrave. Gungrave was another good one. And Devil May Cry. These are all the type of games that makes the system fun to play, enjoyable, and graphics weren't really required. The system was not even powerful than any of the top tier PCs at the time. It only had a 333 megahertz RISC processor with a synthesized graphics card inside of it. That was all custom designed by Sony, and it was competing with the Nintendo GameCube, which was another good system. I still think graphics are not a requirement. Detail and everything can be moderate. Everything can be moderate. Leave it at a certain resolution or whatever. You don't need to go over the top. Everyone should be able to build games simplified. And I liked it where games, even on the 360, the PS3, games were no bigger than 5 gigs up to 8 gigs, probably maximum of 13 gigs. And now we got ridiculous games. Have mercy on them. There are 50, 25, and up to 150 gigs to install a single game. Not really required. All I'm just saying is, I love the good old days. Please bring it back if possible. Make the games fun. Have a good story. Have a good imagination to it. Where I'm talking to the developers. I'm talking to creators. And I'm talking about the players in general. Please make games where back then we would always used to love going back to it. I want all the developers and game creators and storytellers to please look back at the games that used to be made back then. I want you to relook at the PlayStation, the Saturn, the Dreamcast, the PlayStation 2, Sega CD, the Neo Geo. Look back at those systems and get an idea from them. The graphics can be at around 720p, 1080p. I know they can be upscaled and whatnot, but it shouldn't be all that matters. I think what should matter most is a game should be focused around the story and focused around the people that love the story. And I think that developers and programmers and game makers should make a poll on their websites to get an idea what games people really love and what type of story people would be interested in and what would they like to see brought back. I've always liked the old school RPG games. I always liked the RPG games the way that they were before. Final Fantasy 10 is one of them. Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 12, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, the Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Rival Schools. No, actually it's called Need for Speed Rivals Underground. I mean, I could bring up a big list, but I'm not going to. I just hope that people see this video and understand that I think gameplay, story, and the gameplay, I mean, I don't know what else to describe it. Is like we should just figure out a way to make it where it's fun, where people have that fantasy and be drawn into those games that developers create. But I'll let everyone else decide that. This is my own opinion. I know other people has their own opinions as well. If anybody else has thoughts or decisions, or if they want to give an idea what they think, please comments below. Subscribe if you like. If you like this, thumbs up. If you don't, well, you can do that too. I take everything the way it is. Y'all enjoy. Happy gaming. Buster out.